Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of A Few Good Movies. I'm Brendan Murphy.
I'm Matthew Brown.
And this week, we are bringing the Ocean's Trilogy to a close with 2007's Ocean's 13. And this brings us into a new segment. Matthew Brown, this was your idea, so why don't you go ahead and tell the people about this great new idea for our podcast?
Well, I got inspired this morning, and I thought, what's a fun way to get the audience involved? I want to get you guys more involved with these films instead of just hearing us talk all the time. So we're going to do a fun little trivia question. We're going to do it right here at the top, and the first person to answer, go ahead and send that DM actually to A Few Good Movies on Instagram. And the first person with the correct answer, at least for this first week, will get to decide a film that we review within the next month. And going into the future, it's going to be even more than that. When movie theaters open back up, the person with the correct answer will start receiving a free ticket to a movie that week. So pretty exciting stuff. I'm super excited about it. And my guy Brendan came up with the question for the first one. It's a pretty good one. I'm going to let him go ahead and take the reins here.
All right. So the trivia question for this week. Don Cheadle has appeared in 6 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe across the Iron Man, Captain America, and Avengers films. Which other member of Ocean's 11 has appeared in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? So, guys, send us your answers on Instagram. First one that gets it, like we said, we will cover the movie you want us to within the next month. Could be a good one, could be a bad one. You could have fun with it, or you could just you want to hear us talk about a certain movie. Either way, we're excited to see your answers and see what you guys got for us.
Yeah, and I certainly implore all of you who are going to participate. Google will tell you anything. I understand that. But I want this to be a reason for you to go explore some movies and start watching some more films. So I'd say really go in and try to find this answer. Or if you know it, you know it. But if not, like I said, there's a cheap way out. And if you want to do it, hey, but you're only shorting yourself. So I'd say have some fun with this. Go find it.
Yeah, why not? All right. So, we ready?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So, Ocean's 13 came out 2007. Some cool, fun stuff has happened to some of our leads over the course of this time. George Clooney has won an Oscar for Syriana. Matt Damon has closed out the Bourne trilogy the same year with Bourne Ultimatum. He just was in a Best Picture winning Oscar movie with The Departed the year before. So, the trajectory is just unreal for all these guys, this entire time.
To say the least. I
would truly say that this is maybe Damon with, the most cachet he's maybe had his entire career. Because, of course, you've got the Good Will Hunting win. Obviously, that's a big moment. And you've had some stuff this decade, like Ford vs. Ferrari, The Martian, stuff like that. But, think about, what he's doing. He's been in 2 pretty big trilogies over the span of this time with Bourne and Oceans. He just got to work with Scorsese with one of my favorite Scorsese movies. Maybe not his best, but one of the ones I have the most fun watching.
For sure.
Just Scorsese playing the hits, let's do some mob shit, let's have some fun. God, I love that movie so much.
The Departed, yeah, and you want to talk about a killer cast? Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Matt Damon. Are you kidding me? Those are freaking all-stars, dude.
Don't forget, you got Marky Mark right in the back. I think.
Yeah, no shit.
Outside of Boogie Nights, probably his best performance, if you ask me.
Wow.
And it's close.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's the most fun I've had watching him because he's just an insult machine, that whole movie.
Okay.
And he's got some great ones.
I'd have to go back and watch that movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it to really tell you about, to really give an opinion on Mark Wahlberg's character, but it's certainly a good film.
Oh,
but I definitely want to go back, and now you've got me inspired to go watch again. I just saw a little clip today. It was a post of Jack Nicholson doing something in one of the scenes from The Departed, and it was talking about how Leonardo DiCaprio said it was probably his favorite film to work on because at least that one-on-one scene with Jack Nicholson was the greatest thing ever to him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Which I always find kind of nice when Leonardo DiCaprio talks about being excited to work with another actor. That to me is always fun.
100%. It's Nicholson in one of his last handful of movies. Mm-hmm. And he's really going for it in that one in particular. That man, he's usually his bigger hits are when he's a little unhinged. Mm-hmm. But that man is just swinging for the fences in that movie. When he's just because I'm guessing it's the one where he's like trying to figure out if DiCaprio's a rat in like the restaurant where he's like drawing on the thing. He's like slapping the table down, and he's like, yeah. He's just like doing the gnawing, thieving rat. Like,
yeah, that's
he's just,
exactly
like, going
yeah,
insane.
that's exactly what he was like. He was like,
Oh god, that movie's incredible. And plus you got Baldwin, Anthony Anderson, like right before he like really started hitting, before he got his TV show and everything.
mm-hmm.
You got freaking Michael Sheen. Like, I hope it's Michael Sheen. I always mess up Michael and Martin Sheen. I know I shouldn't at this point because like whichever the Sheen is that like played the president on The West Wing is the Sheen I'm talking about, and he's like one of my favorite actors.
I think that's Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. I got it right. Thank God.
Okay.
I got it right for on air. But dude, so good. Vera Farmiga, like right before she started like getting in more studio pictures, like hitting the big. Love The Departed.
Yes.
But Ocean's 13. So all that being said, so it's been quite a journey.
Mm-hmm.
I know, Matt, these are movies you had not watched in a while, and you weren't like too hot going in. I was more the one who was like pushing for this.
Definitely.
So with that being said, after loving both 11 and 12,
mm-hmm.
what did you think of 13?
13 was my least favorite for sure.
It's fair.
The best way I can describe 13 is, so we talked about it when we did 12, is, you know, the expectation going into 12 was it was going to be, let's just kind of make the same movie over again, kind of give the people what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what 13 was to me. 13 to me didn't push the envelope in any sense. They kind of just like regurgitated 11 with some more players and, you know, yeah, I 13 to me, like I said, is what I expected 12 to be. So it's a good movie. It is. It's especially, I know you were saying like you would take a movie like Ocean's 13 coming out right now any day of the week. Yeah. So would I, absolutely. But when you compare it to 11 and 12, yeah, it just doesn't do justice because those really where they miss it is 12 is so unexpectedly amazing that you kind of all of a sudden have that expectation for 13 to be even more amazing. At least I did, because I went into 12 like, oh, it's just going to be the repeat. And then it was this next level gem that I think people need to watch. And I'm going to press everyone to watch Ocean's 12.
For sure.
And then 13 just, yeah, it just kind of gave me that. It kind of just felt like something the machine pumped out. And I was like, I mean, I loved the performances. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
If I wasn't comparing this to 11 and 12, I'd say this is a great movie. But comparing it to 11 and 12, I'd say it's a good movie.
No, I agree. It's tough because you watch 11, it's this perfect like mix of old and new, bringing like a classic Hollywood type picture into the new era.
Yep.
You look at 12, it's someone who has like a lot of cachet now, who has an Oscar. He just directed a big hit with one of the better casts in the world, just being like, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want now.
Literally.
And just going off the rails. This one is literally just them being like, so how do we wrap this up?
Mm-hmm.
And once again, kind of the way that 12 did the whole thing where it's like commenting on how we got to make a sequel. We got to be bigger. We got to be better. We got to be like crazier. We got to add more people, more movie stars. Like this movie is doing the same thing where it's just like, guys, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like one of the better scenes in the movie is when Rusty and Danny are talking to Nagel, and Nagel's going through the list. He's like, okay, guys, so you brought me all the way out here. You pay for my flight. You guys are going to be like $100,000 to be here. What do you guys want? And he's like, okay, listen, we're having this problem. So we're trying to like steal all the money again from the casino. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, we want to rig all the games so that people win and that like Willie Bank loses all of his money.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, so what's the problem? Is it dice? No, we got dice covered. Don't worry about that. Is it blackjack? No, we got that good too. Is it roulette? No, we got that covered. Like we got all the shit like that's necessary down. Like we have our cast, we have our director, we have our same team. Everything is covered. It's just we don't know how to like pull it off, kind of.
Yeah.
Like all the elements are there for us to do it. We just are just like we're stuck. And literally like later in the movie when they bring Andy Garcia back And he's like, just shut the whole place down like you did last time. He's just like, and Don Cheadle's just like, what are you talking about? We already did that gag. You can't do the same gag twice. You do a new gag.
Yeah, he literally says we gotta do a different gag. We can't do the same gag.
Yeah. I mean, in the same way that 12 is super self-aware, so is this movie.
Definitely.
Like, it does that thing where it's like, we need to make it bigger. Like literally their thing is like, they want to rob a casino that like is this huge just pillar that they want to like knock down and everything like that, which is something so insane to think of when you look at the two other movies. Like they want to cause them like, yeah, it's just this weird kind of thing where I 100% agree with you. It's the least of the three. I think it's no question least of the three.
No question.
But especially like going back this time, I still had a lot of fun with it. Like, I think it's impossible to have a bad time hanging out with this cast.
Yeah.
Seeing them go back and forth.
That's fair.
That same magic is still there all throughout. There's so many great scenes of these guys just interacting. It starts on a little sour, but like a pretty sweet note where everyone drops everything because they got to go take care of Ruben.
Yeah.
Which is a great opening, by the way. I love how you cut into Rusty robbing a toy store. He gets a call and he's immediately like, guys, I got to go.
Just leaves. Just doesn't even, they're just like, what?
Yeah.
He literally just walks. I love, Rusty is a man of few words. He just thinks of the response. He doesn't care about who it affects, nothing. He just, boom, gotta go. He just makes a decision and boom, he executes.
100%. And I mean, they get on the plane. The explanation the movie makes for Julia Roberts and Catherine Zeta-Jones not being there is it's not their fight. But, you know, I get this movie's already juggling a good amount. You're adding Al Pacino to the cast. You're adding Ellen Barkin to the cast and stuff like that. And I mean, Pacino's enough for like 5 actors. So like, it's fine. I mean, it's the first time that they are even kind of referred to as a family a little bit, like when they're in the doctor's office. And the doctor first says like, they're like talking about how they need to take care of Ruben and everything. He's just like, well, is there any family? And then everyone just kind of looks around and is like, well, I guess friends will do. And it's just like, it's the first time you really like sense like these guys truly deeply care about each other, no matter like how many quips they like shoot at each other, how much they make fun of each other, through all the barbs, all the bullshit. Like these guys truly give a shit about each other.
Definitely.
Like, and I think that's a nice note to set this up on, so we can like have one less like time with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially you think of like Bernie Mac has passed away, Carl Reiner has passed away. I mean, Elliot Gould doesn't do a ton of acting these days. Like, this is the last time like something like this is gonna happen.
Sure.
Which it's, when you think about it that way, it's still like, once again, agree, not the best of the three, but it's just like nice that this movie is still there for us to have like one last ride with these guys, to like close out all the arcs, tie up all the loose ends, like just one last adventure.
Yeah, I would say it definitely does that too. It's really good at like, especially like the end scene with Rusty and Danny Ocean and Lioness. It's such a perfect bow to like. Yeah. It's rewarding. It's very rewarding to get that scene.
It's one of my favorite shots in the entire trilogy is that shot of those three sitting in an airport lobby, completely dressed the same, glasses, same hair, like all have the same exact energy. And I mean, especially for Linus's arc throughout these whole movies, to see that, to see him, because we'll talk about this more, but like he's finally his own man. He's gotten out of that shadow as his father. Like he's done all the stuff he's needed to do. Like he finally feels like, okay, I can go forth now. He's like been minted in like the way that I keep talking about these movies as movies about making movies. Like he has been minted as a movie star who can go off on his own and do his own thing.
Which is really crazy too, because it coincides with his like real life. I mean, he's already a movie star before that. You know, he's done all the Bourne stuff. So I mean, he's already a movie star. But in terms of like, it's funny that Lioness, I feel like his character has the most growth throughout all 3 movies.
Absolutely.
And I think it's fitting because if you watch Matt Damon as just an actor, I see more growth out of him than anybody else throughout those 3 movies. Like the first one, he's a good actor. I mean, he's great in all of them. Let me not act like Matt Damon's not. fantastic. But you can just see somebody who's good at their craft in 11. 12, you can see somebody who's starting to really enjoy their craft. And 13, you can see somebody who is damn near perfected it. Like, he is sharp in 13.
Well, it's like that thing that we've been talking about the whole time. It's like, this movie is about movie stars and making movies and shit like that. It's like, literally, what is Matt Damon doing, like, when Ocean's 11 comes to him? He has won his Oscar for Good Will Hunting. He is very good at his craft, but he is not like a full-blown movie star going to make $100 million opening weekend.
Yep.
Ocean's 12 comes out. He's, like, had 2 more movies. He's starting to get, like, okay, I'm figuring out my persona.
Yep.
And, like, I'm still trying to, like, make my way in this world without being, like, one of the guys in the Ocean's movie or anything like that. Or, like, just Jason Bourne. 3, he is Matt Damon. Like, he has been in The Departed. Like, he is now, like, the person we know as Matt Damon.
It's Linus becoming comfortable with himself. It's really, that's such an interesting, like, how his real life and his character have the same arc throughout. It's really fun to watch.
Well, it's just that growth. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's that same thing where, like, we were talking earlier, you saying, like, you feel like you still don't know a whole lot about Danny Ocean in these movies.
I don't know anything.
It's the same thing where it's just like, you know, George Clooney, he's been established. You don't have to do too much with him in these movies except to be, like, kind of just, like, you know, he's, like, really good at what he does. He's super charming. He's super handsome.
He gets accepted.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that Danny Ocean isn't a complex character. I think he very much is. Same with Rusty and everything like that. But, like, when do we see him outside of doing the heist? We see him in prison at the beginning. We see him get out of prison at the end of 11. And we see him, like, doing his, like, trying to fake his ordinary life with Tess, which even then he's, like, trying to con people. Like, he wants to brag about how he robbed a casino and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, he's a guy who, like, itches to be this kind of guy all the time. And he's just, like, this pillar the whole time.
He is. And it's like you said, you don't learn much. I mean, we don't learn anything. Short of knowing that Danny Ocean was in love with Tess and he didn't want to be 50 years old because he wanted to look younger than that. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about Danny Ocean. And
you know, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you know, like, he's a good friend. He sticks by his people.
Yep.
He is one of the smartest people in the room.
Doesn't miss. He'll be there when it's time to be there.
Yeah. He is just, like, very easily bored. Mm-hmm. Like, he's set in his ways. Mm-hmm. And, like, you know, especially this movie, it's just, like, it's all about looking back at the past. Like, this is a movie about literally, like, so 2005, 2007, even, like, a little farther, like, anything like that. This is when digital is really starting to take over film.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like, obviously Michael Mann's starting to use it. Fincher's starting to use it a little bit. Like, it's starting to get a little bit of more traction. That digital filmmaking is going to be what's, like, going to be taking over the world.
Yeah, well, what it is.
And, like, yeah. And, like, one of my favorite scenes in the movie this time around, I really got a lot out of it. It's that scene where they go back to the Bellagio fountain, just Danny and Rusty. You have that nice little arrangement of Claire de Lune back where it's just, like, it's kind of very subtle. It's not in your face, like, outright referencing it, but it's just, like, it's got this nice little arrangement where it's, like, there's that classic music, but there's, like, a modern little bit to it. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's them talking about, like, old Vegas and new Vegas kind of deal, or, like, so many of the buildings that they grew up around and everything like that, like, where they grew up with Ruben teaching them, like, how to be con men is, like, gone now. Mm-hmm. And now this whole new age of Las Vegas or Hollywood is, like, taking over. It's like these guys came up in this whole different era, and now they're just trying to survive in this new one.
Definitely. And that even goes, you're talking about, is perfect, because with Ruben, how referencing the old Vegas, when he's talking to Banks, mm-hmm. you know, that first scene when you get introduced to Pacino's character, and, like, when he tries to when he does backstab him, Ruben's argument is, I mean, we both shook Sinatra's hand. Like, there's an oath.
There's a code.
Yeah, because Sinatra, like, if you want to go to history, Sinatra is what made Vegas Vegas. Like, he made Vegas cool. Like, that's the Rat Pack. Like, that is why Vegas is what it is today. You can thank Frank Sinatra for that and some other gangsters.
I mean, he was the original Danny Ocean.
He was. It's really cool. I think I touched on this in the first one, but Frank Ocean is probably my favorite artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned after watching this that his name Frank Ocean comes from Frank Sinatra and Danny Ocean.
Yeah.
And it makes so much sense now because I've been obsessed with Frank Sinatra since I can remember.
Of course.
But now seeing Danny Ocean in that light and then kind of just wrapping this all up full circle, like it really just, it touches on how Frank Sinatra and Danny Ocean are like different generation versions of each other.
Yeah.
But like have this like, not solitude, because a lot of people obviously knew Frank Sinatra.
Well, I mean, when you're doing a remake of an older movie, like you gotta borrow from Sinatra.
Of course,
like,
of course.
Yeah, like if you're not gonna pick up anything, like you need to at least pick up the vibe from like Frank Sinatra's Danny Ocean at least a little bit.
Of course.
And bring that into the like modern day.
Which, by the way, I need to see the original Ocean's 11. I haven't seen it.
See, I'm scared because everyone who tells me is like, no, the original, like the new one is better, and
What?
like, yeah. But I still do want to watch it just because it is those guys, and especially like, I don't know about you, but like kind of a couple years before his death, like I started really getting into Don Rickles,
Okay.
like his comedy and everything, like going back looking at all the roasts with him and Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, everything like that, and just like I do really want to see like, okay, what were these guys like? Like if you went to go see like Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, all those guys, like one night when they were all playing like, I don't know, like the Copa, or just like they were all in Vegas together, like what does that look like?
Right.
And I feel like I do need to see the original Ocean's 11 to like actually see what that looks like.
Yeah. I mean, I could see easily, though, why it's not as good. No offense to Frank Sinatra, but he wasn't a very good actor. He just had star pop.
Yeah, he's got a couple good hits. I mean, Manchurian Candidate rules, but it's like, yeah, it's more I go there for like what's going on with the movie and Frankenheimer than I do like kind of like
Frank's name is Cole. You watch the movie and if you enjoy the movie, but very like no disrespect to Frank Sinatra, one of the most talented people of all time, but he was not an A-list actor. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was born in New Jersey. My grandfather, he grew up in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I fucking love Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, old Blue Eyes, dude. That's my guy.
I love him. He's great.
I mean,
look, we're in a Yankee shirt right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think I don't just, like, lose my mind every time New York comes on? Like, yeah, I love it.
Look, every time somebody compliments my blue eyes, I sit there and think, old Blue Eyes.
It's great. And that's such a great way to, like, put, like, dude, you were part of the old guard, too. You should know better than to do something like this to someone who's part of the old guard as well. Like, yeah, exactly. This is not how Vegas works.
Yeah, getting back into 13, yes, exactly. Like, it was like, come on, man, we've been around, we're old dogs. Like, you know, there's a certain code that we go by. Like, yeah, we might take advantage of these people, but we don't screw each other over. Like, this is our, you know, this is all our business. This is what we do together.
Mm-hmm. Which I love.
Let's talk about how hot Pacino comes in on that scene. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's a fucking maniac, dude.
Oh, he sure is. Like, I love how he never goes full on in this movie, because there's certainly, I've given you this conversation a million times before. I'm not even sure if we've done it on this podcast yet, but like, there are two sides to Pacino. There's the like soft, quieted down Godfather Pacino, who like, he's very intimidating. He can be like very just like, he can stare at you and like, you know, everything that's going on.
Also kind of like, what is it? Oh dude, it's him and De Niro. He's kind of like, he's kind of very reserved and his words are heavy as opposed to him being animated.
But like, here's the thing. There's the other side to Pacino that is a goddamn maniac. And he is the best showcase of both of those. Because, yeah, whenever he's talking with De Niro or he's talking with his wife or he's around other cops or something like that, he's level-headed, calm. He's just, like, trying to get, like, it's one of my favorite performances of him. But when he's, like, interrogating someone, he is off the goddamn wall. There's so many of those fucking lines I know from that movie just because he's screaming them. Just like, give me all you got! Give me all you got! Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite Pacino lines is when he's not interviewing, but like interrogating Hank Azaria, and he does a fucking, cause he's got a great ass, and you've got your head all the way up it. Like, it's just like, he's insane. I mean, I mean, one of my favorite, like, just like performances to watch because he is going full in on the crazy side is Devil's Advocate because he's playing the devil. He's like, he doesn't take on that role without being like, okay, I'm playing the devil. That is theatrical. That is me. I'm going to go insane in the last part of this movie. And
he's also super animated in The Irishman when he plays Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah.
Super animated.
Yeah, but like he also has those quieter moments. Like, dude, I'll never forget the hug. Like when Jimmy Hoffa gets in the car with Frank on the way over the house for the last time. Oh my God. Like I couldn't breathe when I first saw it.
The crazy scene. And for me, it's the moment when he realizes what's happened and he tries to run out of the house real quick. He goes, and it's just within a second.
The thing that gets me is his last words are, Frank, we got to get out of here. Like up till the last moment, he trusts his friend. Like he believes his friend is his friend and would never hurt him. And like that is what kills me in that movie.
Crazy. This is why you put some respect on Joe Pesci, because
that's right.
It is what it is. It's what it is.
Yeah.
It's what
Dude,
it
talk
is.
about, we're going on a little tangent, but like talk about like going from 11 out of 10 to like super just like quiet, intimidating. Pesci and Irishman. Unbelievable.
Well, I think we both agree it might be his best performance though, because I've never seen it's
tough.
It's the most perfect example of less is more, because Joe Pesci's character, I mean, like a perfect example would be Home Alone. Joe Pesci's character is over the top, crazy, screams, hits, hilarious.
Yeah.
But when Joe Pesci says one word in The Irishman, I'm locked in. I'm like, dude, what?
See, but like, it's hard because, as you know, Goodfellas is my favorite movie of all time.
It's a good one.
I think that Pesci performance in Goodfellas is one of the best supporting actor performances ever given.
For sure. Also super animated.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's fucking fantastic in Casino too. Like whenever he gets with Scorsese, he gives one of the better performances. Because like, you've seen Raging Bull, right?
Oh, of course. When he's yeah, of course.
I think that's another great showcase of him right before he goes into that mode where he like starts just like screaming in every other Scorsese movie.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, man, like he can be very, like he can have a very slight touch if he needs to be.
Can't.
Like, I don't know what it is about that school of actors specifically, but like they know exactly what the sauce needs. Like,
yeah, they get it, man. They just get it. That's why the handful of those guys that we could mention are some, the best to ever do it. Pacino, De Niro, Pesci.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm missing somebody for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have the great what's the best Pesci performance debate someday, because I don't know if I can nail it down. I don't think I'd ever be able to choose, but we do have to. I'm sure like down the line we'll do Irishman or something like that. We'll have to have the sit down and be like, okay, what is it?
Yeah, that's a tough lineup, but yeah, that certainly comes later.
It sure is. Okay. So back to Willie Bank and Al Pacino's performance as Willie Bank.
Yes.
First off, great name. Love the name. And I forget exactly what they were going to call the casino before.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they ever said, did they? I just remember Ruben. Oh, they did? Because I just remember one of having the coin saying.
Yeah, because Willie Bank had him made. Right. He remember one of the things, like one of the last things Ruben says before he goes down is like, you changed the name, because he's like, it's cleaner, the bank, like, which, gotta agree, the bank is a great name for a casino. Like, listen, I think it was like Shangri-La maybe or something like that. It was like something kind of like.
Oh, he does say it when the flashback. He says it then, doesn't he? That's right. Yeah, I can't remember. That's right. I forget. Yeah, he does say it.
Yeah.
Oh man, now you got me thinking. He does. He totally says it. Damn.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, he comes in and he's Al Pacino. He lends any movie like some form of legitimacy and just like, okay, what's he doing in this one? Mm-hmm. Like, how is this what's going to be his energy? Because I feel like while Heat is like a good mix of seeing both sides, and like there's a reason why you see both sides at certain points in the movie, this is him kind of like literally like mixing them both together in some way. Because like he doesn't go over the top in any of these moments, but he's still got that same kind of just like, I'm going to be like super animated about everything. Because like when he does the whole like, when Ruben asks like, what, are you going to throw me off the roof? He's like, I wouldn't like to. But he's just like,
he's like, I didn't want to. Yeah, he definitely has that way to like do like these voice inflections that are super unique to him, where he could take a piece of dialogue and the way he says
100%.
it is like you would never expect it to be said that way. And I don't. I'd like to believe that's just him truly just trusting his gut, and just once he gets out there, he's just the character so much that he just starts making decisions like that. And he does it in almost all his movies, and I think it's incredible the
100%.
way it's what makes Pacino Pacino. He knows how to take sorry to go back to The Irishman, but another perfect example of that is when he gets like that letter and he's sitting there talking. I forget what exactly is happening, but he's talking to all his like henchmen. He's like, what? What? He says it like you're
giving it to him!
Yeah, I was like, dude,
I'm going to jail.
He
I'm going
just
to prison.
10
You
seconds
understand?
to say what and said it 3 different ways. And,
Yeah.
I know it wasn't wrote like that. I know for a fact it was not wrote like that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
also,
so impressive to me.
you got someone like Scorsese who's always like going to be supportive of someone improving.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
He loves
perfect mix.
play.
No, but like even when, like whether it's like loud or soft or whatever, like one of my other favorite line readings from Heat is like when he gets home and his wife is like complaining that he was out all night and he was like out, I think just like not casing, but like doing an investigation or whatever, like looking at a crime scene.
Yes.
And he's just like, I got 4 dead bodies on a sidewalk on Hollywood Boulevard, Christine. I'm sorry if the goddamn chicken got cold. It's just like, I don't know how he does what he does. I don't know how he's able to like turn out such interesting line readings.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's such an interesting actor to watch, like no matter what it is. And I'm not saying every Pacino performance or movie is perfect.
Yeah.
Like he's never like not interesting.
Exactly. If you see Pacino in a scene, you're, at least for me, and I know for you, I'm guaranteed to sit there and watch every second because I'm like, he's gonna do something where I'm like, God, he's good. It's guaranteed that he's gonna do something that he never looks at a scene and just plays it how it looks like it should be played. He always adds this little Pacino touch to it that makes it so specifically him. And it's what has made him him, I believe. He's talented, 100%. But he definitely, that's like his niche. That's like his thing, and it's really cool.
Absolutely. I mean, like, you think of like something like Dog Day Afternoon, that like scene where he's just like out parading in front of the bank, just like screaming top of his lungs, like how many like little inflections he has, like how many little moves he makes, like what he's doing with his hands, what he's doing with his body, like what he's doing with his voice. Like it's just he's always something incredible to watch.
I don't know the background information of this, but the way he acts leads me to believe that he had to do theater acting. He had to.
He probably 100% did.
I almost guarantee he did. I can't say for sure because I haven't looked that up. But the way he acts, you can tell, to me at least, it'd be like, okay, he must have had a background in theater first because he's never shy of going over the top. He's never shy of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's that thing where, like, I'm pretty damn sure he did it before he, like, got into movies. I'm pretty sure that's how he got to start. Because, like, I'm pretty sure when he made his Oscar speech, like, he was talking about how, like, he was a theater kid in New York.
Okay.
And, like, when, like, all that stuff with Son of a Woman was coming out, I forget, even before that or whatever, but, like, he was talking about, like, how he get, like, these letters from theater kids in, like, Brooklyn or whatever, just, like, I'm so happy to know that someone like me could get out like you did. Like, I'm pretty sure he has that background. And, I mean, he'll still, every once in a while, every couple of years, he'll do some Broadway production.
Okay.
He did Glengarry Glen Ross a couple years ago.
Okay.
Have you seen the movie of that?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I know I'm going to watch it because I know you have it on your Vudu account, so I'm definitely going to watch it. But I haven't seen it like all the way through, to be honest.
Well, he's basically playing the role that Jack Lemmon is playing in the movie.
Okay.
And you know Bobby Cannavale, right?
Give me some background.
Okay, so specifically in Irishman, he's like one of the first guys that De Niro's kind of introduced to in the mob world. Like he's the guy he goes to like get the steaks for or whatever.
Okay.
And he's the guy who like when he's trying to blow up the laundry, he's the guy who's like, hey, they want to go talk to you. And
yeah, he's like, what are you doing? Yeah. Okay, I know you're talking about. Yes.
Like he plays the Al Pacino part in the production of Glengarry Ross that they did.
Okay.
So like, which I'd be super interested to see because like obviously that role in Glenn Ross, Pacino has it down, but to see him like take on a much, not necessarily quieter, but like much more kind of like softer kind of performance, like interesting to see. But yeah, man, I mean, he comes in here. This isn't one of my favorites of his. I think he's good in the movie. I just like, there's just a few things, like when you get Al Pacino in a movie, especially in a movie like this, which has been kind of, not necessarily over the top, but like super flashy with the way it does certain things. I wanted like a little bit more. Now there are like certain scenes, like I love when he is like telling the maid, like, you know how many like diamond necklaces I have, you know, all the hotels I have, five diamonds. Like it's like Cinco de Diamond, like something like that, just to be like an asshole. Like and whenever he's talking to one of the 11 when they're like in their big old disguises, like when Brad Pitt comes in as like the with like the seismograph or whatever for the earthquakes or whatever, and he's just like,
it's incredible,
dude.
Him
the costume in this movie
with
are
the
great.
long hair and the mustache. He's like, sir. He's talking about. He's like, it's not worth the risk of people. You're playing with people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. And I mean, dude, when Cheadle walks in with that red, white, and blue spandex suit, he's playing a British person doing a Southern accent. That shit's amazing. Like,
yeah, exactly. Because
I love the costume in this one.
He's neither. So it's truly. We want to talk about layers to a performance. Real quick though, I want to go back. You're just talking about Pacino. Like there was a couple scenes you said you wanted to see more. For me, the moment where that struck me, where I was like, Pacino could have taken it hotter there, is when they catch I forget his name, but his character's name, but the guy who's messing with the card machines.
Livingston Dell, yeah.
Yeah. When they take him and he comes up and confronts it and he like asks questions, that to me was a moment where I expected more from Pacino. He just was kind of like, get it out of here. This is why we do soft openings.
See, I think the reason they kind of do it like that, it actually makes a little bit of sense because like when it's the same thing that happens when Terry Benedict finds out that Frank Catton like can't work in a casino, where he's just like, we got to take this off the floor. Like we don't want people to like know that like something bad has happened.
That's
like
fair.
That kind of deal.
Fair. Yeah, he doesn't want to ruin his business before it even opens. That's fair. I'll give you that.
When I would want is more like the scenes where it's just like him and Ellen Barkin in his office.
Yeah.
Like shit like that.
That's okay. To really show his other side because he's just with this like closest trusted employee.
Yeah. Now, I get that the character is just like rich asshole, so he doesn't have to be like high strung or worried all the time, which is fine. I will say I love the scenes with him and Reiner where like he's just like really, he's playing a jerk trying to be like super nice. Mm-hmm. He's like trying to like do wink wink nudge and there's like aces, huh? Like ace of diamonds, I hope. Like it's just that good Pacino shit. But yeah, it's that thing where it's just like what, like I was saying, like when you add Pacino to a cast, I'm expecting a lot more, and I get why Soderbergh wouldn't want to do it because it's more about these guys.
For sure.
At the end of the day, the movie is about these guys, and Pacino's a good figurehead to do that for. I mean, especially like, you know, I mean, Andy Garcia was the villain in the first movie, and fucking Andy Garcia plays Al Pacino's son in Godfather 3. Like, you know, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I hear you. Like, I just think it's hard to bring Pacino into the third edition of a movie and have him play I guess it's a main role. It certainly is. Yeah. But
I mean, he's above the title.
Pacino is so... it's hard to bring him in on the third billing because at that point, once you see Pacino in it, you're like, oh shit, Pacino. Like I said, you're expecting a lot all of a sudden. You're like, damn, they added Pacino. This one's about to be crazy. And it doesn't get there. It doesn't get there.
And I mean, he gets like and Al Pacino and everything. Like you expect, like, oh God, they're making the legacy play. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. I'm ready. Let's go. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's good. It's a good performance. I mean, I always love seeing Pacino. He's got some really nice moments in this. And I think that's just kind of like one of the things the trilogy has for it is just like its villains are never the best, which is fine. Because once again, it's about the group doing the thing. Like they're all just kind of just like, they're good. They're there, but like they're never like one of the best parts of the movie.
They never have an upper hand in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
At no point do you feel like the the Ocean's crew is gonna like miss it. You're never like, oh, dude, he's got one up his sleeve. Banks has got it, or Benedict, or any of them. It just doesn't. They're always a step behind the crew for sure.
Yeah. So let's see. What's next?
I know you want to talk about that Scott Conn, Casey Affleck down there in Mexico.
See, that's the thing. I do want to start talking about like the actual like things moving within the heist and everything, because there's some great stuff.
Oh yes.
And is that what we should start with? Should we start with the Scott Conn and Casey Affleck Great Dice Factory Revolution of 2007?
We can.
God, see, this is the thing about this movie. It's a pretty good movie with some absolute great shit in there.
Yeah.
Sprinkled in.
Definitely.
There's a lot of great shit just all throughout this.
Yeah.
This is what, like, the Scott Conn, Casey Affleck relationship in these movies has always been a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
This is without question my favorite bit that they have.
It's pretty good.
I love this shit. Because first you get Casey Affleck, he's just like... So the dice factory he's working in, like, they got no AC or whatever. It's just like, are they going to turn on the AC in here? And everyone laughs at him. And he's just like, nah, I want my shit. I'm going to fuck some shit up. When he has one job to do, literally he just has to do one thing.
Just dump the thing and just make the dice loaded. Yeah. That's all he's got to do. One of the
funniest parts of the whole thing is just like, all you need to do is just like dump it.
Yeah,
that's all you need to do.
After the revolution, and within one scene, just bloop, bloop, and then that's all it had to be. But they just went on this whole tangent because they're like,
Scott Conn never even worked there. He gets into the factory, and it's just like, he pours it in. But yeah, I just love, they're all sitting around at a table. It's just like, what is the exact line? Have you all forgotten Zapata? Like, he tells this like epic story of this guy called Zapata who like fought against the establishment and won freedom for him and his people and better working conditions and like more money and all that shit. And it's just like such bullshit. And he's just like telling it with the like storytelling grace of like Morgan Freeman or some shit like that. It's just like, have you all forgotten Zapata? Like, it's just, and it just ends up being like a tequila.
I love how Zapata's the guy who's just on the liquor bottle.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's like talking about Jim Beam and be like, we got to strive to be Jim Beam.
Yeah. And then, of course, I love the fact that, like, they're, like, talking about it. It's like, dude, where's fucking Casey Affleck? Oh, he's, like, down in Mexico. They, like, the dice factory is, like, they've stopped. And they're just, like, they turn to Scott Conn, like, dude, can you get your brother in line, please? He's like, he's not going to listen to me. What are you looking at me for? And they're like, well, you're going to go do it. He's just like, fine. Okay, fine. Whatever. I love how he's the Chinese delivery guy and he asks for tip and everything like that. It's great. I love that. And then fucking the next shot of Scott Conn you see in the movie is him with a Molotov cocktail in his hand talking to Danny and the crew, just like, yeah, guys, I'll be with you in a sec. We'll get this done. But like, first we need to get these guys their pay. We need to get them better working conditions. They deserve. Yeah, he fucking throws that shit immediately over the fence.
It's so wild.
He's just as hyped up and jacked as everyone else. Like, it's fucking hysterical.
Like, he just went down there and was supposed to do a job and got inspired, and he saw it, and he was like, hell yeah, dude, freedom. Let's get it.
This is some shit. Let's do it.
My favorite part, too, is that after they do get it, they're like, well, what'd they get? They're like, oh, like $36,000.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, well, they're trying to get the factory up and going, and they're talking about, like, should we just bankroll it? And they're like, well, we're pretty much out. Like, how much is it going to be? And they're like, 36,000. Like, 36,000, like, 50 workers or whatever. That's going to be, like, a couple mil. Whatever. He's like, no, like, 36,000 total. So they're looking for, like, an extra $350 a week?
Yeah, a revolution for $3 more a week. That fight.
They're just like, yeah, we'll pay it. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Yeah, that is funny. I forgot that's how they brought it up. They're like, we'll just pay it. And they're like, how much is it? And they're like, oh, 36. They're like, that's it?
Yeah.
36,000. Like, what the hell are y'all going to war for?
Dude, capitalism's a bitch, guys. What can I say? And then I love, like, the last nice little note, because it's like Casey Affleck tells one of the, like, the main guy, pretty much just like, I will tell your brother, like, not about what happened here, but just like, I'll send word to your brother. And like, when later in the heist, they're like in like in electric room or whatever, he like passes the guy working, he like gives him a hug, is like, your brother sends his best. And it's just like, and it's with the guy like just giving like a little smile, like it's nice. I love like the fucking Dice Factory Revolution is one of my, it's incredible. It's a great idea. It's so funny.
It adds nothing to the movie, but it's literally just a fun bit to just go do.
Yeah.
I mean, it adds something. That's not true. It adds nothing. But you could have easily made this movie without that. It could have just been they went down and took care of the dice. But they were like, let's play around with this. Let's have them go on a revolution, because why the hell not?
What you mean? Maybe that's the thing, because the other things in this movie are like they're all dragged out. Mm-hmm. Like whenever the guys do something in the other movies, like they have it done in like 5 seconds. Like we got it done, don't worry about it. Like when they need like info in the first one, like the code or whatever, they're just like, okay, they got in touch with this girl who works at the strip club and got code off the guard. Like it's an immediate thing. And literally that's what they end the shot on, is just like them pouring the thing. That's all they need to do, is just that shot of them pouring whatever they're going to use to load the dice into the thing. And that's all you need. But no, there's this whole thing. And another one is how they, did you have something to say?
I was going to say, I think it touches on the theme of this whole Ocean series, because it's like when Lioness in the 12th one talks about, you know, he says something about like, we don't want to be doing this, guys. We don't want to like we don't want to have this rep of like people who, I forget what he was talking about, but he's talking about like, we don't want to be these people known that rip off other people or something.
Like rip off a handicapped person.
Yeah. Or like how Tess in 11 talks about it. She's like, it's not right to, you know, play someone else. It's just interesting that throughout all 3 of them, they all just have this like moral compass to them where like, yeah, this story's going on, but all of a sudden you learn something real specific about the character of like, well, this is something that means a lot to them. And it touches on that theme of like family still. Like these are all really like family oriented people at the end of the day. At least I kind of feel like that. They all kind of have their bits and moments where you see that true, genuine, like good side of them. And you're like, all right, that's nice.
I mean, they completely like put in all their money completely selflessly to like make sure that Ruben got his revenge a little bit, or that at least they got their revenge. Like, you know, they sank all of it in so that Ruben could get like his hotel back, or like at least part of it.
And that's exactly. Like, I mean, 13 is literally this whole thing. Like, it's a bank heist, but they're really kind of just doing it to avenge Ruben and make him feel better. Yeah. Like, other than that, there's really no reason to do it.
Because, like, literally they tell Nagel when they're going through all, like, how they're going to do it, they're like, we don't need to win, but other people need to win so that money is taken out of the bank.
Yes.
Like, that's all it is. And so some of the other stuff they're doing, I love the idea of, like, the loaded dice are like activated by like the lighter.
A lighter, yeah.
It's just cool.
It is cool. I wish I had a lighter that could just control shit like that, because it's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I just wish I had like a lighter. Like, have you ever just like done that thing where you just like click? Like, that's cool every time.
I actually used to have a Zippo just because it was when I was like 16. I didn't even smoke or anything. I just had it because I was like, this is so cool. Yeah. And then when it ran out of fluid and I realized I had to buy a fluid every week, I was like, this ain't worth it.
Yeah, this is a good like $5 one time. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm not. Especially like I said, I wasn't smoking or anything. So just to light a lighter and spend $5 a week, I was like, I don't think this makes sense to me.
Oh, 100% for sure.
Getting a little frugal at that point.
Absolutely. Some of the other stuff, we've got the blackjack table, which is honestly another one of my like favorite little things about this movie. I love that Livingston can't crack the shuffle maker, or like, what is it? Whatever it's called. The like,
the card shuffler or whatever. Yeah. And
he has to finally call Nagel and be like, hey, this is Livingston. Listen, if you had some time or whatever, I've been having some trouble cracking this thing. If you would just like come over and help me out with it.
If you want.
If you could just like, please don't ever mention this to one of the guys ever. Like, just, you know, keep this between you and me. Like, I love that Livingston is finally like taken to task over just like a shuffle machine. It's the one thing
really
he can't crack.
To him. It really it kicks his ass.
Oh yeah, I love it. I completely forgot about it. So then I love how he like cracks the lie detector as he has a fucking like pin stuck in his foot the whole time.
What's funny about that is he's just sweating his ass off, and the guy even commented, he's like, you know, if I knew any better, I'd say you're completely lying right now.
I'm just really nervous.
I'm just nervous. Yeah, I just want this job so bad.
Yeah, it's great. I wish. Okay, here's one thing. I wish I got to know a little bit more about Frank's like domino game. Like, what is that game? I'd like to know. Just like, because, why not?
Oh, like his, like, you talk about how he had, like, the dominoes specifically printed up, like, with his face on it and stuff. Yeah.
Where can I buy those dominoes, first
Definitely.
off?
I definitely want some of those dominoes.
Absolutely. They have, like, all the code set for, like, the machines and everything like that. Dude, great shot of, like, the slot machines when fucking Danny Ocean has, like, the little mustache and that big old turtleneck with the chain and everything like that.
Just looks like a true, like, Italian, like a whopper. He's just super slicked back. He's got the chain. He looks like he's part of the damn Death Row crew when they did, like, them pictures back in the 90s with the turtlenecks on.
Man, I love how he gets more costumes in this movie. I really do. Like, there's not a ton of them in the first two. Like, this one, they were really just like, let's have some fun costumes. Like that. I don't know what it is about that mustache that Clooney is wearing, but it makes me laugh hard.
Yeah. And it's just that one scene he's got it. Never again does he have it.
No. Brad Pitt, they were just like, how can we make this guy at least kind of unattractive? Like,
I didn't catch
we're not going to be able to fully do it, but, like, we're going to have to try our best to, like, get it down a little bit.
Oh, you mean the seismologist guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly that guy's not the hottest character.
Oh, for sure. And then the nose. My God. Fucking, okay, what's the, let me make sure what the character's name is.
Matt Damon's, or I should say Lioness's character, he's the interpreter for...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Pepperidge or something like that.
I think Pepperidge sounds right. I remember Pepperidge sounds right for sure.
It's just like, he's arguing with everyone like, no, guys, the nose plays. Come on.
Yeah,
like, it's not just a prop.
That nose throughout the whole movie.
I mean, I love how, like, into it he's getting, how petty he is about it, where he's just like, no, guys, what are you talking about? Like, this is great. The nose is going to work. It's awesome. The nose is great. I love...
He's like, it gets me into character. He's like, I'm not even thinking anymore. I'm just doing. I'm just reacting. He's like,
listen, I have the line here because it's incredible. I need to make sure that I get it. Where is it? Oh, I can't find it. But, like, he's exactly just like, no, guys. Like, I am him now. Like, I just react. Like, I am Pepperidge. I'm really feeling him. And he's just doing, like, I'm just like that. Everyone starts fucking making fun of him doing
their lives.
I fucking love these guys and how they do shit like that.
Very fun. They are. It is a fun cast. It's good. It's, like, it'd be really hard to duplicate something like that today. It'd be really
100%.
hard.
I mean, even, like, Ocean's 8 was, like, nowhere close to, like, the kind of chemistry this movie had.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's, like, pretty okay.
Yeah, for me, like, I nothing against any of my viewers. I'm just gonna tell you how I really feel. I'm okay with them remaking Oceans again. I wasn't a fan that they did it with all girls because I don't know. For me, I want to see the integrity of the film. It's like Ghostbusters when they redid it with 4 girls. I get why they're doing it. It's to empower women and they want to give them equal roles. I'm totally for that. I'm not against any of that. But when it comes to the integrity of a film, I hate when casting is decisions based on what it looks like for the world to see. You know what I'm saying? Like when it becomes not a politicized decision, but I like to see the integrity of the film be the first reason someone gets cast. You know what I'm saying?
It's yes and no.
Okay.
I can see the point as if it's just for, like, a cash grab, because, like, Ghostbusters kind of felt like that a little bit.
100% to me.
I'm cool with them doing that. I mean, they did it with Star Wars. It worked for me. I know it didn't work for everybody. It's just that thing where I'm down with them remaking stuff. Like, obviously, like, especially with Ocean's 11. If you want to bring that into a more modern day thing, like the way that they brought, like, that from, like, the 60s into now, like, that works for me.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just that thing, like, where, like, can you do something with it? Like, it's just, like, when they do something like Ocean's 8, and it's fine for me with Ocean's 8 because I get it. It's a movie about just a bunch of movie stars getting together. Like, it's never, I mean, they do different heists and everything like that. Like, this one isn't even set in Vegas. Like, It's a different movie pretty much from before. They were just like, we want to make a heist movie. We want to do it with a bunch of women. And I mean, especially after like John Mulaney literally made a joke about it in one of his comedy specials, where he's just like, "You couldn't make Ocean's 11 with women. Two of them would just go like out in the corner and like argue about each, like make mean comments about the other sex." Like,
That's awesome. I didn't even know that was a bit.
yeah,
That's awesome.
it's one of John Mulaney's bits, and they were just like, I think they were just like, okay, we gotta like make a heist movie with women in it. Which, hey, down, like let's do it.
For sure.
But it's just that thing where it just wasn't a very good movie. End of the day.
Like I said, it was the timing of the movie for me. It felt like more of a political statement than an actual good film.
I don't think it's a political statement either. I think it's just like, we got this property.
Yeah.
If we put Oceans in front of something, it's gonna make money probably.
Sure.
Like, if you just like do a new heist movie from the ground up, like that hasn't worked out very well. Like, which we'll probably talk about a little bit towards the end because it's another Soderbergh heist movie, but like Logan Lucky, that didn't make any fucking money.
I've never even seen it, never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's just like, it's another like heist movie that just like didn't make money. Okay. But if you slap an Ocean's name in front of it, you got it.
It's gonna draw people for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's just more the state of Hollywood than anything like that. I mean, they always learn the wrong lessons. They always do the wrong things. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with them doing it. I mean, it's not like they're forcing me to watch the movie. I went and saw it because I like good heist movie. I like seeing those actresses specifically. Like, I love Cate Blanchett. I've really grown to like Awkwafina a lot, especially after The Farewell.
Okay.
You know, it's just like this thing where like women do need to have a playground. Like, they need to have a place where they can like play around a little bit with this kind of stuff.
1000%.
So it's just that thing where, yeah, that's at the end of the day, like, it's not gonna do any. Like, I've saw both those movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're both kind of whatever. Like, they both pretty much like in one ear out the other.
Yeah.
Like, I respect why they were made. I understand why the people wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, if you're just doing it to just kind of like do it, maybe we don't. But
yeah, that's where for me personally, the integrity of why a film is being made is what's most important to me. So when I don't feel like they were just making it to do something like really crazy, and again, it was just, you know, like I said, they just kind of did it to do it because it was just a thing. Like, yeah, that's to me where I was like,
yeah, because like, I mean, I'm sure, I'm blanking on them right now, but I know there are examples out there of like when something like that has worked.
Yeah.
I mean, even like something like, I know it's not with women specifically, but like Spider-Verse, like making Black Spider-Man, like, that's fucking huge. And the fact that movie works is like incredible.
That movie's incredible. And because that to me, it didn't feel like they made Spider-Man black to show that like they were empowering like black people. It was just like, they just made a decision based on the film, and like it does work. And 1,000% it works.
It's not even that. It's just like, it's not even just in front of the camera. Like, you got to do behind the camera too. Like, you know, like black people were involved in writing it, directing it, like from the ground up.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, like they did it with Star Wars.
Yeah.
They've been trying to make like more female-led Star Wars movies, and that's great.
Yeah, I'm totally here for that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just that thing where it's like, I know you haven't seen it, and it's not a huge spoiler, but there's like a shot in Avengers Endgame, which we will watch someday. We will do these because you haven't seen them, and like, anyone who knows me knows.
This podcast is going to force me to watch the Avengers, guys.
I'm going to make it happen. But like, there was this one scene that has a lot of controversy surrounding it, where there's a shot of like, they do like a shot of like all the women of the Avengers like coming together and doing something, and like, I think it works in the movie. I think it's fine, but I get why a lot of people thought it was like super pandery, and that's where it kind of line is like, are you just trying to pander to women to get into their pockets, or like, are you actually trying to like tell a story about women like successfully or anything like that?
For sure.
But yeah. So off of that little tangent.
That was good. I like that.
Yeah. For sure. And I guess what else is there to kind of like, I mean, it's the same thing with the first two. There are just like a lot of good bits where you can just say, that was funny there. That was really good. Like, here's what we talk. The very unimportant person. That's a great little set piece.
Yeah. I love the way that guy gets treated throughout the whole movie.
Yeah. The actor is David Paymer.
Yes.
He's like a character actor you'll see every once in a while in another movie, TV show, anything like that. But like, I love how, once again, it's another influence from like somebody like Altman or somebody like that. Like, they talk about him before you're even introduced to him. And they're like jokes when you can go back and see it, like they're talking about him specifically, like that guy's gonna get fucked over. This is gonna be horrible for him. He's like, but he's gonna get like 10 million at the end. He's like, wouldn't you do that for 10 million? He's like, no, I do it for like 11. Like, it's just like, that guy had just like the worst weekend in the world.
I love when he goes into the restaurant and he's like, table for one. They're like, oh, he's like walking. They're like, sorry, sir, we're full. And there's like 40 tables open. And he's just like,
those are all reserved, sir.
Yeah, those are all reserved. Sorry about that,
sir. And then, why don't you try the Chinese place?
Mm-hmm.
He's just like the rancid dumpling or whatever. Dude, that shot of like all the bugs on the bed is just like, it's no bueno. I'm out every single time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's always a fear I have going to hotels anyways. You're just like, God, what the hell has happened on this? I'd love to have those glasses that he had. Just pop those bad boys on and just start. I probably don't want them, actually.
I can't have those glasses.
Yeah,
I could never stay in a hotel again.
Sometimes you might just be like, dude, out of sight, out of mind.
I already see shit just with like my bare eyes where I'm just like, oh, God, I got to sleep in here. This is not great, but whatever. Okay, fine.
Ignorance is bliss is perfect on that.
If you give me those glasses, I'll never be able to sleep in a hotel ever again. Especially with all this that has gone on in like COVID and everything like that. Like, no. Don't ever give me those glasses.
Honestly, I don't want those glasses either. Because I'd use them and I'd be like, this is a letdown. This is very unfortunate.
Yeah. And like I said, I love how that like wraps up. They do like one last good thing for a guy where they just like give him 10 million. It's great.
Definitely. Well, he's a guy that was already pretty successful though. He was part of the Five Diamonds Club, wasn't he?
He's not 10 million. Like he's he's like a committee guy. They probably give like he's got like a regular like 40-hour a week like regular salary. It might be a little bit higher or something like that, but I don't think he's like rolling in money like $10 million. Like the dude's excited he won $10 million. If he's just like, oh cool, like double a year salary or something like that, like which it's not. Like, yeah.
That's true.
I understand. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like I guess we can talk about a little bit about Terry Benedict. I like he gets that Andy Garcia gets to have a little more fun in this movie.
Yeah, he gets to be kind of involved and not just be getting played the whole time. He gets to go have that little bidding war with banks or whatever and gets to like get him worked up. So he buys, what the hell was it? What was the bid in there?
It was the game that Frank, the domino game.
That's right.
Having their hotel. That's right. I love how petty Terry Benedict is. That like first he's just like, listen, you have to steal those diamonds.
Yeah, that was what meant the most to him. He was like, you got
yeah, it's like, I don't even want them. You can keep them. Do whatever the fuck you want with them. He cannot have those diamonds by the end of the night.
My favorite line from Terry Benedict, and they're like, how important is the diamonds? And he just answers with, well, do you have all your affairs in order? Jesus, that is you talk about a powerful statement. I'm like, good God. I was like, dude is out of control.
Yeah. I love why he's got it in, like, when they're, like, doing the original, like, when they go to Benedict, is, like, why he wants to go in with him. He's like, his monstrosity of a hotel casts a shadow over my pool. Burn the place down. Like, he's just, like, he's just so fucking petty about all this. And the fact that he even, like, he hires Toulour to steal the diamonds from them just because, like, I'm not going to give Danny Ocean my money just for free. Like, yeah.
How did you feel about that?
It's fine. That's what I think it makes sense for Terry Benedict.
It does.
I like how it results in the end. I love him going on Oprah, which we need to talk about the Oprah scene, which is great.
Yeah, when he's just forced to sound like he cares.
Yeah, but not even, yeah. Where he's just like, yeah. Like, I love how that ends up. I think it's just like bringing in Toulour to, like, once again, just like tie up all those loose ends. Like, it's that thing where, listen, if you hear that the guys you went up against, you lost, you're super pissed about it, you thought you were the best in the world, they showed you up, you think you're not going to keep your, like, ear to the ground a little bit, like, what's the next thing they're doing so I can fuck it up for them? Like,
I agree, but they just kind of shortchanged it in this movie. That was what I didn't like about it. Like, they showed him that one shot of him following, and then he walks up with a gun, just takes the diamonds and just jumps off, and then, like, he got played, and then they're just like, that's it. And I don't know.
But it's like he's trying to take a page out of their book where they were just like, we just went on the bus and took it.
I guess that's true. He's trying to repeat. I guess that's true. That's exactly what
he's like trying to learn the lesson. Like, okay, here's what these guys did last time.
Let them do it.
They literally just like, they knew where they were going to be at a certain time, and they just took it. So that's what I'm going to do this time. I'm just going to show up where it's going to be. I'm going to take it. That's all it is.
And he even shows up with the gun, which Linus, of course, he's like, a gun, really? And then, of course, it's the empty gun. He just goes, there you go.
It's a nice touch. I'll say that.
It is. I think the movie would have been just fine without bringing him back at all.
Yeah, I agree, but it's also just like, it's fine. Why not bring him back?
It is.
Like, I like Vincent Cassell. Like, why not have him in a movie for like a little bit?
And that's fair. And it does help. It really does, I guess, wrap up the whole series because it wraps up what because, there was no answer, like what happens to him. So for that, and obviously if he wouldn't have done that, they wouldn't have been able to blow out the diamonds like they did and, fly off with it. So I'm not upset with it, but I just think this movie would have been perfectly fine without it. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a fine opinion. Like, I'm not going to argue with you just because, like, I'm kind of the same thing where it's just like, it's fine. He's in there. Like, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I'm not upset about it, but, like, if he wouldn't have made an appearance at all, I wouldn't have been like, dude, where the hell is, like,
where's Toulour?
Yeah, I would have never said that. I would never thought about it.
Yeah. But, it's just, like, a nice touch. It's more for Terry Benedict than it is for him.
Sure.
Like, Terry Benedict to be like, I want to fuck them over a little bit because, like, I'm never going to get over it.
Yeah, they fucked him over completely.
Yeah, like, they took my money. They took my Julia Roberts. I'm going to fuck them over. I'm going to try to fuck them over till the day I die.
Yeah, even though he's already doubled their money off of them.
Yeah, I mean, that man has made so much money off that crew.
Yeah, the best thing that ever happened to him was Danny Ocean robbing him. My man's made a killing ever since.
He did take Julia Roberts, though. Like, that's something you can't get.
Let's be honest, though. I don't think Benedict ever had Julia Roberts.
No, that's fair.
If you see how willing she is, like, I don't think he
100%.
He never had her.
Nah, you're right. But I do want to talk about, not that Oprah scene. I want to talk about the other Oprah scene, just because, like, it mirrors that 1 in 12 where they're, like, inside watching TV. I love how
it does.
Brad Pitt first comes into that room. It's just like, are you watching Oprah?
Yeah, like he's upset
condescending. Like, one of my favorite line readings from him in this entire movie is just like, are they going to really build that woman a new home? Yep, they are. Oh, yeah. It's like the little, like, I just like, it's just like, once again, it's like, these are just like.
It goes back to that family thing, that moral thing I was talking about. Like, all of a sudden, these guys who are con artists, all this and that, can get touched by Oprah providing a people that are struggling with homes. And that's what really drives them. They're like, I'm going to sit here and watch this. And I love that, dude. I love how they incorporate that, the whole series.
Well, it's just like, the thing is, like, a word change in there is really great. Because are they really going to build that woman a house? Are they going to build that woman a home? Like, really sells it?
Yeah.
Like, it's great. But yeah, it's just like, they're just like a bunch of really nice, supportive, good boys. Like, that Rob stuff. Like, man, the Reuben letters, like, that's great. Like, to see that's what gets him out.
Speaking of the Reuben letters, we want to talk about Matt Damon killing a scene. When he starts it, he's like a sentence. He's like, I'm not going to read this. I'm going to save this for later. And he just walks out.
When it's like something along the lines of, like, when people work together or, like, when people go into war together, they are bonded together for life. Me and you have become brothers. And he's just like, Reuben, I'm going to leave this here for you.
He's like, I'm going to go ahead.
I'm going to leave this here.
It's so funny the way he times that, where he's just like, I think I'm going to go. And
I think it's Basher is the one who keeps writing this. I forget if it's all of them or just Basher. Because
I'm not sure.
The only one that Reuben, like, singles out was like, hey, man, thanks for the letters. They're what got me out of my hospital bed.
Yeah.
Like,
see, again, though, it's the family. It's them showing they care, and that's what really brought him back. It wasn't getting back at Banks. It was the letters.
Yeah. It's just like, that's the thing. It's just like I said, like, they're just, like, really good friends. Like, family. I feel like there's, like, one other thing that I wrote down that I want to, like, bring back up again, where I literally just, like, these are nice thievery boys. Like,
Nice thievery, boys. What a
They're
funny
nice
way to
thievery
put it.
boys. Like,
By the way, the lighting on your face right now, when you were
bad.
looking down, no, it wasn't bad. Like, it looked crazy when you were looking down because it was just highlighting like the side of your face and the shadow. You looked like Bane or something. I was getting inspired. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, Jesus,
Dude, hell yeah.
it's so edgy over there.
This is what happens when you buy an apartment with a living room that doesn't have a light in it.
This is what happens. You're right. That's why
That's
I got the trusty light here.
See, I'm too poor to get that light. It's not gonna happen.
Dude, IKEA, I got this thing for $20.
So that's a little too deep. A little too deep. No.
Doesn't make the pay grade.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here's what it was. Everyone in the cast now speaks Yen's language.
Yes. They were when he talks that one time, they all start chiming in. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
How do you get like? That's so fucking sweet. Like, this is my buddy. I want to be able to communicate with him. I want to have a conversation with him. I'm gonna start taking I forget if it's whether it's Cantonese or Mandarin or whatever. But like, they're just like, I'm gonna learn a whole other new language for my friend.
For a guy that speaks one sentence a movie.
Yeah, like that's fucking amazing. I love that shit. That's great.
Yes, it is.
That's such a nice move.
Good thievery boys.
Good thievery boys. That's what these movies should be called. It's just like good thievery boys.
We all agreed that this was the Benedict job.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's one of my favorite lines in the last movie. Just like, I thought we agreed to all call this Benedict job.
I thought we all agreed.
That's one of my favorite scenes. Oh my god, it's so good. But yeah, all the stuff when they actually do start pulling off the heist, I think I clocked it. I think it's probably the longest where they're like truly like, I think it's like a good solid like 40 minutes they're pulling off the heist, something like that.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of fun moving parts. I love, like, once again, just them being nice theory boys. They give a nice woman on her bachelorette party or something like $30 million. No big deal. They like, I love how all the games work, how when they finally do get the thing to stop working, like, it's just like, it's the same kind of scene in Ocean's 12 where they're just like hanging out together, playing poker, and they're just like all like laughing, having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Ruben's getting his money back.
Yep.
The shit with the earthquakes is cool, like fun.
Going back to the betting real quick. I love when Brad Pitt comes in and he puts that first bet down and it hits. He goes, "Hey!" And then they just start taking off. It's such a cool little Brad Pitt moment. She's like, "Hey!" Even though he knew it was gonna hit, and they just start rolling from there. And I get super excited.
Did you catch what the roulette numbers were that are like they're loaded to?
Didn't it land on 23?
Don't think so, because it's 11, 12, 13.
Oh, is it? That's what I was going to say, because I was like, you kind of set me up too perfect. I was like, it's probably 11, 13.
It's just like,
but I didn't catch it.
Why not? Let's do it. 11, 12, 13. We're going to put that in the movie.
This is what we talk about. It's this Ocean series is brilliant at making a movie so self-aware without it throwing you out of the movie. It's pretty
without it just being like, we're a movie, right?
Yeah, there's subtle reminders all the time where it's like, this is a movie, guys, just in case you forgot.
Like, it's so annoying when a movie like Deadpool is just like constantly hitting that button over and over again, and you're just like, I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
You got any other jokes?
Yeah.
Like, this movie will give you like 10 minutes before it brings up another thing and is like kind of smart about like we were saying earlier, like you don't do the same gag twice.
You don't do
move on to the next gag.
Yeah.
Like, even though like he's just like tunneling again, like it's
literally the same gag somehow, but
yeah. But you're not using the EMP. That's the thing. That's what happens. They don't use the drill in the first one. They got to use the EMP.
Can't fit, dude.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. They lift up the diamonds out of the ceiling, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's cool how they do that.
We learned that this FBI agent that's been tracking them down the whole time has been Linus's dad.
Which, again, I know I told you between you and me. It seemed kind of obvious to me. That wasn't really a shock.
No, that's fair. I didn't catch it the first time just because I wasn't really paying as much attention to it. Like, I figured we would see Linus's dad at some point because they do the thing with the bomb in the second one.
Right.
But, like, we were talking about this earlier. Like, I would have thought they would have brought in someone bigger, like how they kind of did with Albert Finney with Catherine Zeta-Jones in 2.
Right.
But, no, it's a perfect, like, great casting for the dad. He's another like good character actor. Like you'll see around. I think he's in Arrested Development. maybe. I think something like that. But like he's been around.
He also, I could be wrong, but isn't he one of the chief polices in the show Dexter?
Maybe. I never watched Dexter, so I wouldn't know.
Buddy. Well, speaking of Dexter, the guy who is the one selling the silverware and stuff that they take advantage of, he's actually this real piece of work used car salesman in an episode of Dexter, and he's also like he kills people too, and so Dexter ends up killing him. And so it's funny because I recognized him when he's going up to that minivan that after he just went and sold the gold from, and that was like, it looked almost, I was like, dude, that's the same fucking dude from Dexter with the shitty ass minivan salesman. And it was so funny how the minivan is what reminded me of who he was, and it did this whole thing, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's fine.
I might be wrong on the other guy with Dexter, though. I might be wrong on that.
No, that's right. But yeah, I mean, like we said, I loved it in the other two movies too. But like, I love the shit they do with Linus and his parents. Like that shit is great. Just like there's always this like nagging like shadow going on, and I'm like, Mom, Dad, stop. I'm trying to be my own person.
Like when he's trying to defend the nose to his dad, he's like, it worked. He's like, can we just admit that the nose worked? Like, can we just put that out there?
Yeah.
It
played.
plays.
Just like, even he spends all the movie arguing with everybody about the nose, and I love the phone call he gets from his dad, where he's just like, no, Dad, it's not just a prop, okay? The nose plays, okay? I love how every time he's just like, the nose plays, okay?
Yeah.
And his dad is just like, put Danny on the phone. I'm not gonna put Danny on the phone. I love how they both, Danny and Rusty do like,
Danny just puts his hand out, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna put Danny on the phone.
No, I'm not gonna put the Rusty on the phone either.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Like, it's so good. Like, you know, it's that thing where just like, I know we're talking about how this is not as good as the first two. Right. It still has the same exact charm, though. It has the same exact like comedy you want from it. The same, these guys doing the same kind of thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with playing the hits if you want. It's the same thing with like, we were talking about The Departed literally earlier. I don't think it's Scorsese's best movie by a long shot.
Sure.
I really love it because it's kind of a movie of him just like, we're going to do some mob shit. We're going to play the hits a little bit.
Definitely.
Like, I'm still down as hell for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the wrap up is just kind of like, you know, they're able to steal all the money that they need to from him so that bank loses the casino. Ruben gets what he deserves out of all of it. He's going to get his money, everything like that. He's all better. Danny gives Bank the whole just like, you shook Sinatra's hand, you should have known better speech kind of towards the end. We do another kind of thing like we did in the first where like we go through all the guys' faces, but it's through fireworks this time because it's 4th of July. Mm-hmm. I like how all of them were like in the beginning, like, when does it take place? July 3rd. Everybody knows exactly because they're all so fucking in. Mm-hmm. Like, they know everybody knows every inch of this because they're all doing it for Ruben. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just like Ruben does the thing where it's like, thanks for the cards, man. Like, I really appreciated it. Like, I like that Cheadle and Gould get to have like a nice moment between those two, which is like something, I don't know, it's just like a weird thing to see just because like you haven't seen them spend too much time together. Mm-hmm. Like, usually when you have those asides, it's like Khan talking to Gould. Like in the first one, or like not Khan talking, like Khan talking to Reiner, like when he's just like, have you ever been to Utah? I think you'd do well there. Like trying to convince him to come out to you, and he's just like, I'll look into it. Or like when they do like the bathroom thing in 12, where it's just like, if I don't go right now, I'm gonna shit on your shoes.
He was like, would you like to be knocked on or use the bathroom? He's like, well, if I don't knock and they don't let me in, I'm gonna shit on your shoes.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like, but like, it's nice to have like that moment between those two where like, I feel like Ruben's like not making a joke, but he's just like being sincere, just like, thanks guys. Like, I appreciate everything you did for me. This has been really nice to like see you all again. And then we get the thing where we learn that Benedict paid off Toulour to like steal the diamonds. Mm-hmm. And you get Benedict to go on Oprah to be like, yeah, I did it for the children. You know, I looked at a bunch of charities and, you know, these children, they really deserved it. Like, I loved it. Once again, and then you get that shot of those three just sitting on that, like in that airport terminal, just like, these are the guys. This is it. Definitely. Like, Linus has come full circle. I mean, I meant to mention it earlier, but like Linus starts dressing a lot more like Danny and Rusty this time around.
Yeah, he becomes more cool. He's got some swag to him, except when he's a character. But other than that, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. He's a guy who's trying to be cool the whole time, but like he's trying to dress the part because he sees what Danny and Rusty are wearing. It's like, I need to get clothes like that. I need to start looking and dressing like those two.
Mhm.
And then I see him like finally like he wears it well, like he owns it.
Yeah, I mean, he holds his own in that last scene. You're like, damn, all these guys are fucking badass superstars.
Or you're just like, you know, guys, my dad is actually, he's lining up something. He's got a part for me in it. And they're just like, wow, like, congratulations.
Yeah.
Just like, see you.
Did I lose you? Where'd you go? Brendan! Oh, no. We might have lost him, folks. I don't know what's going on here. Well, hopefully he comes back. If not, we're pretty close to the end here, so maybe I'll just wrap it up for us. Maybe he comes back in. Touching on what he's saying there, though, just, yeah, I mean, Matt comes full circle, Matt Damon, Lioness, and he kind of holds his own with these guys, and that's big. I mean, that's, like I said, it goes back to what we were talking about, the whole Lioness thing. Yeah, it looks like I lost him for sure. He's gone. Maybe he'll, I'll try to send him another invite here, but until then, we're just gonna go for it. I'm gonna try to finish this up. It was fun. For somebody who hasn't seen these movies in a really long time, it was fun. I don't regret a second of it. 12 ended up actually being one of my favorite movies of all time. Truly impressed with what they did with that movie. Yeah, Brendan, any final words? All right, well, then I guess I'll wrap us up here. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, please. I don't care if the comment says that my new haircut looks like shit. Send us a comment, put something. Don't forget about the fun trivia question too. I'll go ahead and repeat it, not as elaborate as Brendan did, but I'm gonna go ahead and repeat it anyways. So besides Don Cheadle, who else in the Ocean's 11 cast has made an appearance in the Marvel Universe? Again, send that response via DM to Few Good Movies on Instagram. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. There, we got Brendan back. That's good. Yay!
Oh, let's go.
We got him back. I went ahead and just wrapped it up. I put a bow on it. I'm doing a sign off now about like, comment, subscribe. I said the what's it called? The trivia question again. Told them to send via DM via Instagram, Few Good Movies. I kind of wrapped up how I felt about the series and how much fun it was for me. Since we got you back, any final thoughts, Brendan?
I mean, I'm bummed I missed the final thoughts from you because, I mean, the reason I wanted to do this one so much is because I really wanted to, like, you to watch those movies because I would always talk about it and like, oh, I haven't seen them in a while and everything like that. And I think this was, like, a good – and I know we wanted to start, like, broadening a little bit, like, start doing series, trilogies, stuff like that.
Sure.
But, I mean, for me, I mean, these are always a joy to watch for me. Like, I can't think of a time where I've, like, watched them and had a, like, bad time. Maybe the first time I watched 12 because I was like, what the hell is happening? But, like, there's so much fun. The cast is incredible. Seeing Steven Soderbergh, like, take on this kind of movie was, like, super fun. And like I said, if you guys like these, go watch his other heist movie, Logan Lucky, that came about, like, 2-3 years ago, which – you know, it's like Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Daniel Craig, Riley Coof. Like, it's a fucking, like, Kentucky Fried Heist movie a little bit, and it's fucking great. Like, do you know what it is?
No.
It's, so these brothers, they're the Logan brothers. It's Channing Tatum and Adam Driver. They have an idea to steal money from Charlotte Motor Speedway on the day of the Coca-Cola 600. Like, that's the heist.
Okay.
And it's incredible. Like, dude, how do you feel about Daniel Craig?
I was gonna say I like Daniel Craig, so I'll have to check it out.
Okay.
Daniel Craig, just to make sure I'm not dumb here. That's James Bond, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just make sure.
Because I have some friends who are not very Daniel Craig friendly. I don't know why.
He's great. I like him.
I think because here's the thing: they were like Brosnan Bond guys, and when they saw Daniel Craig come in, they were like, "No, thanks."
I get that because Pierce Brosnan is the best James Bond in my opinion.
See, I go Craig. That's my thing.
Okay, I would never go Craig, but Daniel Craig didn't let me down. That's for sure.
See, I think the thing for me is my experience. everyone's favorite Bond is the one, like the first one they see, the one they grow up with.
That's why Pierce Brosnan would be my favorite.
Like Daniel Craig is mine because the first Bond movie I saw was Casino Royale.
Okay.
Like everything like that.
Fair.
Like those, that's my Bond.
That's fair.
That's how I'm introduced to him and everything like that.
That's totally.
And also just like Skyfall and Casino Royale, they fucking bop. Like those movies are great. But yeah, man, no, like, and that's another like super fun. Like Daniel Craig, especially in that movie, he is going off. Like he's got full on Southern accent. He's got this like really dyed blonde hair.
Okay.
Like that, like super brings out those like blue eyes that are like always kind of a little muted when he's like playing James Bond. Like going for it. He plays a guy called Joe Bang. If that like gives you any kind of like just like clue into it. But like, yeah, man, I love these movies. It was a joy to go through them with you, like see you watch them again with like kind of fresher eyes and everything like that.
Sure.
The best surprise is that you love 12 like as much, if not more than I did.
That's what I said on the sign off when you weren't here. You can go ahead and watch the playback. 12 changed my fucking life. That movie's incredible.
It's great, right?
It's easily the best in the series. For me, it's no doubt about it. It's the best movie in the series.
It's tough, man. It's that first one is just like pure like perfection. Like when you think of like what a Hollywood like movie with a whole bunch of movie stars is supposed to be, like that's kind of it for me.
Yeah, for sure. I don't argue with that at all.
It's just like which one you're more in line on, like which would you rather have? Like a movie that's done in the classic Hollywood style, like done perfectly, like kind of deal, or like do you want people to fuck with shit? Now I love both, but like it's the same thing they have where it's just like, you know, it's like something like The Irishman, where it's just like we've had something like that, which that's a bad example. But like when I saw Avengers Endgame last year, like I fucking lost my mind in the theater because it's like that kind of movie done like to its heights. Okay. Now it's not trying to fuck with the formula in any way, shape, or form. Like it's still following the same thing that people have been doing in blockbuster filmmaking since like Jaws, Back to the Future, everything like that. Okay. But it does it so goddamn well that I'm just like screaming for joy, especially with that movie. But yeah, it's tough. My tendency is to go to 11, but like I can understand 12. I get it. For me,
so my favorite director is Stanley Kubrick by a long shot.
Of course.
And he knows how to take something that's good on its own and turn it into something extraordinary by doing a perfect example. There's a scene in A Clockwork Orange where they're walking, and it's just after he got told that, I don't know if you've ever seen Clockwork Orange. I'm sure you have.
I have not. See, I keep telling you, the thing with Kubrick for me.
I have 2 Clockwork Orange posters hanging in my room.
I know you do. Listen, I've told you. It's not that I don't want to watch these movies. I own all of them. I own them. I want to watch them. I want to give them the respect they deserve. Like, I need to, like, set out a date for each of them and be like, okay, this is the day I'm going to watch this movie. My day is going to be dedicated to, like, watching this one and having, like, that experience of watching it. Like, should I just, like, throw in Clockwork Orange at 2 o'clock on a Sunday? That's not the way I should watch it.
Yeah, you got to prepare for that movie.
That's exactly, but that's like with all of his movies. You got to do that with Eyes Wide Shut, too.
For sure. For all of them. That's what
I'm saying.
A Kubrick movie is an experience. You can't casually watch a Kubrick movie.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I haven't watched all of them. It's because, like, I am not in a setting where I can, like, give those movies the full attention that I can.
And I can appreciate that amount of respect you put on it, and I get that because that's the same reason I don't watch them all the time. I guess my point here, though, is he takes there's a fight scene that really, if recorded in real time, would have been about 20 seconds. But he shoots the whole thing in slow-mo. He uses Alex's voiceover, and he plays classical music while it happens. Yeah. Holy shit. It takes something that would have been good either way, and it turns it into something incredible. And the reason I'm saying that goes back to why I like 12, because 11 is something really good on its own. And 12 is something that took it and made it a little extraordinary because of some fun little things it did.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, there we go.
There he is. That's what light looks like. All right.
Sure. I needed to do it at some point. But, like, yeah, I mean, especially, like, the thing with Kubrick, like, dude, I did not see – it's not like I made sure that this happened, but when I saw that it was happening, I knew that that's how I had to see it. Was like I had not seen 2001: Space Odyssey up to I guess when I was like 22, I think, or something like that. But it was because like you always hear the thing like people like immediately hate it because it's so slow and boring, and not that it's slow and boring. That's not what it is. It's an amazing movie all the way end to end.
It's slow though, for sure.
It's slow.
Very
but,
slow.
like, boring is not a good word to describe it. That's not what it is going.
It's boring if you don't realize the magnitude of what's being put in front of the screen. You're not like if you. I can understand as your average film goer, that's boring. But like I said, if you're talking about Kubrick and you think about the choices that were made, and first of all, how that movie came out in the fucking like they were still making black and white movies, and this man made a realistic film movie or space movie. Like, it's so far ahead of its time in terms of like the special effects, the set design. We touched on it when we were talking about Christopher Nolan on Inception and his huge set that was spinning. That's freaking shades of Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey, which was even more elaborate.
Yeah. But, like, that's the thing is, like, I'm not going to watch that movie on a TV set at home.
That's fair because...
Like, I waited till I could see that movie in a theater before I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 minutes is a black screen. Just that in theater, again, I'm thinking about 1960s. When that came out, people were probably in the theater like, what the fuck is happening right now?
I mean, if I remember correctly, wasn't it kind of like a bit of a failure when it was like originally released?
Yeah, no, people thought that they fucked up the cut and thought that like they just had it black for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But
like was not a huge success. People were kind of like, yeah, it's not really great. But then just like these people who were like, you know, kind of like stonerish a little bit, they were like went back and watched. They're like, holy shit, this movie's amazing. Like, and then there's actually like so much going on in that movie. Yeah, it's great, and that's why like you need to watch it in a theater. And that's what I've tried mostly to make sure I watch Kubrick movies in like the best format I can.
That's fair.
So like
I can appreciate that.
And like especially with like Eyes Wide Shut, which I know so many people have told me to watch that movie, and I want to, especially because I love Cruise, I love Kidman, I like Kubrick.
Scene in that movie. You want to talk about some fucking good acting? I'm not even gonna tell you. I just want you to watch that movie.
No.
But there's a scene with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, buddy.
Yeah. But like that's the thing. It's like I do. It's stupid. It's me, and I hate that I do this. But like, you know, when you're like, you know what I'm gonna watch tonight? You know what? I'm finally gonna do it. Eyes Wide Shut. This is the movie I'm gonna watch tonight. Then you like, if you're sitting down, it's like 8, 9 o'clock, something like that. And you're like, it's 3 hours.
And it's a committed 3 hours. So
that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. I had a shift today. I'm kind of tired.
Dude, watch that movie at 6 a.m. Wake up. Nothing's going on in the world. Just kind of sit and focus. That's what I've been doing lately with all these 12s and 13. Because I get up early. So I just watch them first thing in the morning on Sunday. Holy shit. You get so locked in because you're like, at 6 a.m., you don't even look at your phone because nothing's going on at 6 a.m.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I've always also like, I don't know if like, I'm sure studies have been done on this kind of thing, but like, I would always go to the movies like first, like when it first opens, like in the morning. Like I'd go to like the 10 or 11 o'clocks if I could, just because like I either like to go like super late, well, not even super late, like the 7 or 10 o'clock movies where it's like it's nighttime. That's the thing what I'm doing like for my night and everything like that, and like that's the thing I'm doing. Or like I just want to go like sit in a movie, or like I want to wake up in the morning and like go to a movie, because like you're also like a lot more emotional when you first wake up and you're like
you get more involved with it.
Like I remember when I went to go see Little Women, I went to like a 10 or 11 o'clock because, man, when they do that shit like around December, November, like no one's in school, so they got to like do more movie times. Like, man, I love a good 10 o'clock movie. And like going to see like Little Women at 10 a.m. was like a truly great experience for me. Just like dude. I fucking bawled my eyes out. It was great.
Good.
The movie's incredible. But yeah, so the guys, that has been not just Ocean's 13, but the Ocean's Trilogy. I know Matt has filled you in. Like, comment, subscribe. What do you guys think of 13 specifically? What are your thoughts on the Ocean's Trilogy in general? What are your rankings for it? I know mine are 11, 12, 13. I know Matt's are 12, 11, 13. But yeah, guys, I mean, we'd love to hear from you, everything like that. Let us know if you can get the trivia question correct. We'd love to hear that you did. We'd love to just like, you know, we're excited to hear like, even if you don't get it right, like what movies you guys want us to start doing. But yeah, guys, Ocean's Trilogy in the bag. Let's get the other ones rolling. Ready?
Hell yeah, dude.
All right. Thanks, guys, for watching.
All righty.